This is General Miguna Miguna speaking to you from exile. The hammer falls on Muigai Nje Metameta Kenyatta, the chief despot and commander-in-chief of Mungiki and all chauvinistic Kikuyu elites. I said chauvinistic Kikuyu elites because he does not represent all Kikuyus. He leads the most tribal, chauvinistic elite in Kikuyu, the thieves that have grabbed all the land from the ordinary Kikuyu, the thieves that have turned the majority of Kikuyu people into squatters, into homeless scavengers in Kenyan cities, the thieves that have turned Kenya into a banana republic, a bankrupt basket case, the thieves that have stolen elections successively since 1963, the thieves that have stolen all public resources and turned the youth into starving, jobless, and destitutes in the Kenyan cities, towns, and villages. That is where the hammer falls. Uhuru Kenyatta is not qualified even to be what Luos call Akedede, the village chief. He failed throughout his life. Uhuru Kenyatta failed his CPE. Uhuru Kenyatta was taken to St. Mary's School in Nairobi and got all Fs. He was then taken to Amherst College in the US, where he flopped in his second year. He did not go beyond second year. Uhuru Kenyatta did not graduate in 1985. That's why Amherst College does not have his name in its graduating directory of 1985. That's why Amherst College has not put his name up like it does all its alumni. That's why Amherst College has not hosted him or celebrated him as quote-unquote a successful former student, like it always does all its most successful students. Uhuru Kenyatta is even a failure within the Kenyatta family. He was once given a restaurant and bar to run in Hurlingham, and he spent all his time smoking ganja, taking drugs, drinking, and basically playing around until the business went under. Uhuru Kenyatta was then put on a stipend by Muhoho Kenyatta, his younger brother. He was given handouts on a daily basis so that he could spend most of his time drinking in Githurai. Raila Odinga feared that transformation because he knows that his children and family members are so inept, are so mediocre, just like Uhuru Kenyatta's, are total failures, and that the only way they can maintain their artificial privilege and wealth is to continue with the dysfunctional, mediocre, tyrannical regime that Uhuru presides over. Raila Odinga suffers from low self-esteem, just like Uhuru Kenyatta does, because they have not, they have been failures throughout their lives. As I have said repeatedly, Raila Odinga did not finish primary school. He left grade or standard 6 after beating up a teacher, hitting a teacher with a stone at Maranda Intermediate and being expelled. The teacher was called Oremo. Raila was expelled. Then Odinga shipped off his useless son to East Germany, where again Raila did not finish the village polytechnic where he attended. When Raila came to Kenya, he was hired at the University of Nairobi as a lab technician. He was not teaching engineering at the University of Nairobi. Today, the revolutionary bomb falls on one William Samoei Arap Ruto. Ruto is Uhuru's deputy, despot Uhuru's deputy in Jubilee and in the illegitimate regime of Kenya. The tyrannical brutal, murderous, looting regime in Nairobi. But Ruto has been involved in more than looting. Ruto also has a son with Akinyi Walkoa Odinga, the sister to Raila Odinga, and the former wife to Dick Oneko. Ruto is reputed to have had 27 children in 2 years. Between 2007 and 2012, Ruto had more than 30 children. The man has been on a riot in bed and on a riot in the looting spree. The man is dangerous to the economy of the Republic of Kenya and to social order. And as I have said before, we must reject this BBI handshake. We must reject this cynical or choreographed PR stance. We must reject these frauds. Ban BBI handshake report. Pile them up on the streets and burn them. Cook with them. Burn them in your homes. Burn them in your offices. Burn them wherever you are, in villages and towns and cities. Burn the BBI report. Other than the fact that Peter Kenneth, admittedly, is a handsome man, okay, and is from a mixed race, what is it that Peter Kenneth brings? I'll tell you why there is nothing about Peter Kenneth except color and beauty. We are not selling beauty here. When I'm governor, I will have probably a beauty department where we will have tourism, we will have beauty contests, and I can appoint Peter the head of beauty. You see, Peter Kenneth, yes, made history at the Starehe Boys Center. He was my classmate. I didn't go to Starehe, I was at Njiri's, but we did O and A levels the same time. So when we did the A levels in 1984, everybody at the Starehe Boys Center passed. And Peter Kenneth was the very last student. There were only 2 students that failed flat. And Peter Kenneth was the last one. Which means he got everything 0. It was 0. Now, no, it is very important because the capacity, the intellectual and academic capacity to digest information, to retain information, to filter information, and to apply knowledge is important in governance. Because this is about policy. How are you going to solve any problem if you are just pathetically, intellectually incapable?